Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to What's the Difference, where we take a behind-the-scenes look of the shakers and movers of their respective industries and see what sets them apart from the rest of the pack. I'm your host, the David Difference. Oh, what a difference a Dave makes. And today, we're talking to retired Metro Sergeant Christopher Curtis, a.k.a. the Sin City Super Cop. This guy is a legend in the Las Vegas streets. He's also an author, he's an entrepreneur, and he's been a mentor of mine and a good friend and a brother from another mother for many years. And I'm excited to bring you this interview. This was just supposed to be a teaser to the real interview, but we were having a meeting. We had a couple of drinks. I grabbed the mic out of the car and I said, let's just do this, man. So we put it together. With that being said, I didn't test the audio. I'm not happy with the audio on my end. He sounded good, but it's a proximity thing. But nevertheless,
there is an energy and a vibe in Las Vegas that is unlike any other city in the entire world. From graveyard to day shift to swing shift, it's constant motion, constant action, and constant money. People chasing it. And it's just, you see the deepest, the darkest, the evilest, the sexiest, the wildest, the craziest. Everything is Vegas. Everything with an EST on the end is in Las Vegas.
Between me and you,
David Difference here. Oh, what a difference that Dave makes. And I'm going to tell you, one of the beautiful things about life is, like, I've met some magical people. As some of you know, I consider myself an alien extraterrestrial, and I've manifested some special people into my life. When I first came to Vegas, interesting enough, there they are. Hello.
What's that? You guys bike out there?
No, that's his bug. Thank you. Okay. So, oh, what a difference a Dave makes. You mix some magical people. And I just want to tell you this story, and I've told you this, I think. When I came to Vegas, my brother had this book, Mac Tactics, about picking up women, and he said, I think the guy lives out here. He's a cop for Las Vegas Metro. And I said, oh, cool. And 2 years later, through some serendipitous interactions, I'm called to meet with a police sergeant about a project, thinking I'm going to meet with some old white man, and I walk in, and there is
a young white man.
Sergeant Christopher Curtis, and I was like, oh, you wrote that book, and like kind of kicked off from there, and it just been my guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Sin City Super Cop, Christopher Curtis, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. That was interesting. I did not know your introduction was going to go there, but yeah, I'm a big fan of your brother, by the way, and maybe we should take a second to shout out your brother. Your brother was a phenomenal human being. Because of him, we connected, and I always had a special affection in my heart for him. So before we start, I think in reverence to just a phenomenal person, we should just show him some love.
Let's take a second. I appreciate that. Well, so it was actually my older brother that had the book on picking.
Didn't know that. But this is what editing is for.
But it's all good. I mean, nevertheless, so the older brother will put it out there in the universe, and younger brother definitely connected. So, for those that don't know, so we're doing the podcast, What's the Difference? It's coming up. We're going to do it live. I know you're going to Florida, but I just wanted to give them a teaser of, I know magical people, and there is something that sets them apart that makes them different. You are an elite.
What you people don't know is there's this window here where there's like what is that morning show where like the people in New York look at, and like all these people are looking at us right now. So we have that energy going too.
Yes. So, in case you don't know, I love it. I love it. So, so in life, there are just elite people that think different, move different, act different, and I think that's one of the reasons we connected. I've learned a lot from you over the years, not per se by the things you've told me, but by watching you move. And when we get into the podcast of What's the Difference, like, what are some of the things that we could talk about that set you apart from the rest?
So, I was being silly in the beginning, right? And so I just want to say this. I don't think that I'm elite, and I don't think that anyone is elite. What I think that is that we're all different. And our differences is what some may consider to be elite. Like, and I think that what society does is it makes us afraid to embrace our different. Like we want, like people like follow other people and like get in line with everyone else. And as I've gotten older, I think the the most courageous thing that one can do is embrace how they're different from everyone else and say that's who I really really am. And I don't know that that's really elite unless one defines elite as an individual aspect of excellence. So I think that that's what so in humility, I'll say that yes, that's what makes me elite. I think the world is full of crap. I think nearly every human being that we interact with is a hypocrite or full of crap, me included. There's a saying that says most men, no, I think what the saying is all men are hypocrites. Most deny it. I myself admit it. And I admit that I'm a hypocrite because I'm like extraordinarily hypocritical, and I know that most people are hypocritical as well. And so, if I was to say some of the attributes that define me as a human being, it's fear, intrigue, um, deep thought, and and fear is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm just going off on a tangent right here because I think that the stream of conscious is what also makes us interesting and engaging. But we connected on that level because I always thought you were a very creative, fun, energetic human being. Creative, fun, energetic human being, and and that's a beautiful thing. But what happens when you follow other people is that you cease to be those things because you just become a carbon copy of everyone else, right? Like you look at the toughest bikers or the coolest rappers, and everyone else just emulates someone else that they saw, right? Like I see a tough biker dude, right, and dude, you were just copying somebody else. You saw that dude and you liked him, and so like I'm gonna be that guy, right? Like who's unique in themselves, right? Like be your friggin' self and be that unique person. Be courageous enough to be that human being. And like that's why the brilliance of someone like Kanye West, right? Like I friggin' love Kanye because Kanye's a little loony. Like, and there's no doubt that, but aren't we all? Like if one were to be able to tap into the most innermost recesses of my mind, you would say this man is insane. Yet if I were to tap into the most deepest recesses of your mind, I would say we're like-minded. Then we are both to some degree insane.
Well, I think everybody's got a little insanity to them. But when I said elite, I mean, obviously people perform at a higher level. I've met a lot of officers and cops, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's cool guy, cool people. Take nothing away from them. But you are an anomaly, like, and it takes different to know different and recognize different and understand that. But like you've always been, like, what are you, 4'8"?
4'10".
He's 4'10", but he's got this personality and this energy of like a giant. So, I mean, where does that come from?
An anecdotal story for you. This is so beautiful that we're talking about this right now. I did not know that I was short by normal standards until I was 40 years old.
How tall are you?
5'9". Okay. I did not know that I was short by today's standards until I was 40 years old. Worse than that, I didn't know I couldn't dance until I was like 43, 44 years old. I danced all the way up until then. But how beautiful bliss is that you don't know you're short to other people, and now I don't care, right? Like, then am I really short? Like to me, I'm tall enough. I'm tall enough to accomplish whatever it is that I need to accomplish. And like I don't lose sleep over people not liking me. I don't lose sleep over um, people's impression of me. I dated a girl many years ago, and she was in AA, and she told me something that always stood out to me, and it said, "It's no one else's business what anyone else thinks of me. It's not my business. You can think whatever you want, right?" And I love that about life. And I walk through with my little 5'9" legs, non-dancing, big nose, whatever, and I just do me. And we have a finite amount of time on this earth to create our space. Like this is the beer that I want to drink, and I drink this water this way. And like if you don't like it, I'm supposed to drink it different. And I think that once you embrace your authentic self is when life becomes completely different for you. And you really, every single moment, you can maximize those 60 seconds in a minute, right? It's different when you care about, or you give someone, why am I going to give you 20 or 30 or 40 seconds of my minute thinking about what you care about me? 'Cause I don't care. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Well, that's one of the things I definitely learned from you. Was I remember when we were downtown, so we were part of the downtown project. We started the Downtown Rangers. It was a beautiful, magical time in my life. Definitely a blessing. But when people would start talking shit, and it's like, oh, there's rumors about David going around, and I'd be like, and you,
Yes, yeah.
but you were so like, people would talk shit about you, like whatever.
I would tease you.
Yeah.
I would tease you because you care, and you're tall and good looking, and like younger than me and everything, and like you cared, and so that would make me want to tease you about it. And you know, and in truth, I wasn't teasing you because I was trying to teach you. I was teasing you because it made me laugh. I'm gonna be real with you, but hopefully you learn from that. And so this is what I'll say is that, you know, I don't know what made me not care. I mean, maybe it was my parents that didn't care. And I'll tell you, it likely was my parents, because I could tell you right now, I could look in both of my parents' face, especially my dad, and I could tell you, and I don't curse, but my dad would say, I don't give a F-U-C-K what you think about me. And my dad was shorter than me. My dad was like 5'6", 5'7". My dad did not care. I don't give a, I don't give, and that was always about what someone else thought about him, and he would just live his existence. He lived to 82 years old and did his thing, and I think that was one of the best lessons that I learned in life. And then to this day, a person like you that's been blessed with all these physical attributes. I mean, you walk in a room and you exude this tall, good-looking mulatto man and half breed, and and you care. And me, 5'9", half breed, I don't. I really I don't care. But I walk in a room and people are like, "Who's that guy?" And I said it in humility. But I walk in a room and people say, "Who's that guy?"
No, definitely. Like you got this energy and this magic, and that's what like captivated me. Is like this guy is something special. I like, and your circle is very important. So those, like I said, like you could tell me something, and my ego, I'd be hard headed, like whatever, ain't trying to hear that shit. But watching you move, the way you conduct yourself, the way like it's not just like me that respected you. It was like when you walked in the room, like you said, everybody was like, "Who is this guy? What's he about? I need to know Sarge." Was there a point in your life that you kind of didn't have that magic or didn't realize your magic?
So that's a very, very good question. I'll tell you this. My memory is not as great as it used to be, and likely because we've been drinking today. But this is what I'll say. There was a point where I faked that I didn't care, but that transitioned very cleanly into a point where I didn't care, like legitimately didn't care. Like I was like, who are you? Like, if you can do it, I can do it. And if I can't do it, I really don't care. You just do it, right? And then the other thing that I'll say is really interesting is, right, I always operated under the premise that I've capitalized on people underestimating me. And I know that there's a Sun Tzu or one of the 48 power, laws of power. Get away! I don't like flies. One of the 48 laws of power that tells you about, when the enemy is strong or weak, you should be strong. Whatever that was. Whenever I was underestimated, I always gained ground. And Marine Corps boot camp is phenomenal. And I'll tell you, if you're thinking about going into the military, do it. United States military, phenomenal experience, and you'll learn a lot of things from it. And I think Marine Corps boot camp taught me so much. I'll tell you something else that's interesting. And this is like a stream of consciousness. Like I'm sweating right now, and I don't wear deodorant. I never wear deodorant. And like I smell a little bit, but I'll tell you, I think that it's a little weird, but I'm going to tell you why I'm sharing that with you. All right? I just touched you with my sweat, because I think that at our core, our most natural essence of who we are and what expels from our body teaches and shares with others what we are. Like I'm a very like kind of feral, old school male, and like around like-minded people, I believe that I express that, and in romantic moments that expression comes out the right way, and we mask it with things that transition what our body's supposed to say. And I think that once you connect with like when you walk in a room, like you're supposed to walk in, like I want to have fun in this place. I don't, and that's why I think that people connect with my energy. And if you don't, that's cool. Then there are other people on the other side of the room, and just hang out with them and do your thing with them.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting because like there's multiple sides to you, right? There's that when you were on Metro, you were just this strict. I mean, behind the scenes, it was like, all right, he's a little. But now, as you left Metro, and kind of going into is it Twilight now? The later stages of your life. Like right now, you're living on a beach in Florida. You're riding your bike every day and just like having fun, enjoying it. What that's the thing is like people that get to know you. Like, do you let people? A lot of people see the behind the scenes. The
No one sees. If you were to give me a nickname, it would be Solo, because I hang out by myself so much. And like, this is what's really interesting. So I'll give you two movie references that really kind of exemplify who I am as a human being. One is Pulp Fiction, Butch. Remember when the Bruce Willis character, when he ends up beating the guy, Marcellus Wallace tells him to take a fall, and he doesn't take the fall, and he's pulling off his gloves. He's like, Butch, they always underestimate you, and they tell you. And Butch knocked him out. And like he had the girl, the taxi cab driver in the car, I forgot her name. And I always smile at that, like the short guy, and like they underestimate you or doubt you, but you always capitalize upon that. The other one is in one of my other favorite movies is Fargo, is the character who was played by William Macy. William Macy, right? And he sells the True Coat to the guy, and the guy curses him out about selling the True Coat, and he walks out and talks about hockey to his man. He's like, I'm going to try to work this out for you, and he's BSing, and the guy comes in, he curses him out again, but he still pays for the True Coat. He still writes the check. So what happens in life is that, you know what? Sometimes I'll take your bull crap, but I'm still going to get what it is that I want, that I need, that I desire in my journey. And I really don't care that you were pissed off. And not that I'm hustling people. Like, I never, ever hustled anybody. I don't need to hustle people. I'll always be, from the point that I decided that I was never going to care about other people's thought of who I am, and I'm not going to, harm anybody else in that way. But it's a freedom that you have no idea. It's absolutely beautiful, and other people see it. You can be 4'9", like you said. What did you say? I was 4'9"? 4'4". Well, that was 4 something, right? And you can be that height, and you can still engage in life and just have a wonderful experience. But it's that confidence just comes from a different place. It can come from here.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people can learn from that because we're so in our heads all the time. And like I said, somebody would say, "Oh, David's smashing everybody downtown." I'm like, I don't even talk to anybody. I don't talk to any. I was so worked up.
Tall, good-looking guy.
Right.
Around women, and it happens to people, right?
But when somebody would say something about Sarge, you're like, so what? And I was like, that is such a superpower if you are out there, because we're in our heads, we're always overthinking, we're always underthinking. But like you said, that is a huge freedom to be able to just not pretend. But like you said, you evolved to the point where you actually don't give a shit.
Want me to tell you, this is an interesting aspect to that whole process. So so what happened is, like my sister, my little sister, I used to tease the crap out of her. She hated if I chewed with my mouth open. And I'm talking about like from age like 7, 8, 9, 10. And so I would do it. But she learned that if she didn't respond to me chewing with my mouth open, that after a couple seconds, it would stop. So when you don't react, the agitator dies. There's a saying, and it says, if a person attempts to give you a gift and you don't accept the gift stays with the giver. If a person attempts to give you a gift and you don't accept the gift stays with the giver.
Same with the criticism.
Correct. That's the gift. You understand that that's the gift that they are attempting to give you.
Got you. Yeah, and I just think that, like, and honestly, so when I started off saying elite, is a lot of people don't understand that, right? And I get along with everybody, but there's certain people that just poke out, and no, I do. I had a lady cuss me out.
You can't get along with everyone. Listen, the philosopher Kant said, no absolutes, right? Immanuel Kant, no absolutes. And I agree. I mean, the only absolute that I would likely agree with is that there is a God, right? And there, I'm sure some of your viewers are going to say, no, there's no. Oh, listen, fine, you do you, but that's an absolute that I believe in. You, you can't say you get along with everyone. You can say it. No, you can say it. You can say it, but it's really not true because first we would have to define what get along means.
So just an example. Like I had a lady that like cussed me out, called me the N word. I calmed her down. After that, like she would bring me lunch like once a week. This is an old, like stuck in her ways lady. I'm just saying in terms of, I understand people where their trauma may be coming through from, where their anger.
My brother, because what you're saying is everyone, and you're talking about one anecdotal. There's a saying that says, anecdote doesn't translate into evidence. It's just an anecdotal experience. Okay? Because I can tell you there are probably 40 people inside this place right here. I can tell you if you define get along and you bring them all out here, you'll probably get along with about 35 of them. There's 5 of them you're not going to get along with and are not going to get along with you. We have to be careful with our words. Remember, I was a hostage negotiator, so every single word that I utilize, I attempt, so I'm not going to make it an absolute, I attempt to make it the ideal word for the circumstance. So that said, we have to be incredibly careful when we say that we get along with everyone, because I think that it's incredibly challenging. Now there's going to be some computer geek that's going to say, let me find an absolute in this video.
Yeah, well, okay, so I understand. And that's the thing is like I try to, part of this is for me learning as well, not just everybody out there, but you're always going to learn some. You always have a lot of good phrases and parables that could teach many lessons. And for those that don't know, like you've been featured on Cops, you've been on what is it, Brain Games, Nat Geo. You've just kind of been an authority. A lot of people have hired you as a security authority, like just somebody that knows safety. I mean, safety would be a thing. And now you're here with a tank top. You got the beard growing out. Like you have evolved into the next phase. You're living in Florida. You're on the beach. You're doing your thing. You're just like having a good time. You're traveling. Tell me what, like through your different evolutions, like is this the best phase so far?
Ooh, best. Okay, so remember, I always look at words. So best phase. I mean, if I was knee deep in some beautiful, how is that better than sitting with you drinking beer? I mean, come on. Best phase. I think this is my most wise phase. I think this is my most productive phase as far as towards humanity. So remember, the person that asks you the question has a specific goal. What is your goal in the response, right? Like, so my goal in the response is to give you what you really want, because I don't think you want to know what my best phase is. I mean, do I look my best? I mean, I look great, yeah, but breaking balls. So my best phase, I'm extraordinarily happy, with the exception of some losses through death and some challenges, family challenges that I'm learning about with life. But I really understand and love life on a different level. Like, I love life on a different level. Like there's a saying, and I have a couple philosophers that I really love, and I believe it was Epictetus that said, I discovered the secret of the sea by meditation upon the dewdrop. And forgive me if it wasn't Epictetus, but I believe it was Epictetus that I discovered the secret of the sea upon meditation upon the dewdrop. So that means on the micro, you understand it. Like if you really look, you understand it on a different level. So yeah, so I'll give you a more straightforward answer to your question. Is this my best level? If you are a person who wants to engage me as a human and enjoy your experience with me, this is the best version of it.
Well, so I think it's a constant evolution, right? I mean, but I think overall, if I look at like from an outsider looking in, I'm like, this guy's doing it. But take me to, it can't all be sunshine and rainbows. No, you seem like somebody that shakes stuff off, that's able to just move as you move. Take me through a stage in your life when you question yourself, your abilities, what's next.
So let me tell you something that's interesting. I can tell you, watch this. If he doesn't edit this out, watch this. In your mind, you're saying, this is golden. You're saying in your mind, this is really good stuff. So your question, take me through your mind. Take me through it. Like people don't say this, right? So take me through like the challenges, right? So my challenges, I think.
But be real. Like I've known you, and I haven't seen any like, oh, okay, there's a facade here.
I'm going to be 100% real with you. In spite of the fact that this element of what I'm about to speak to you is fearful, because I have to also be careful of other people's privacy, right? So I'm a parent, and as a parent, some of your seed have challenges in their experience, and I'm experiencing that right now. And so for me, that is extraordinarily challenging in one element of my existence. And it is a strong hope for me that transitions to a happier place, and I believe that's happening. But it's definitely not all apple pie and smiles. That's an extraordinarily challenging element of my life right now. And if I masked anything, I am masking that, because I have to exist in a space of duality between my transparency and the opaque element that I must extend to that human being for their own privacy.
Gotcha. So depression, is that a thing in your life?
Yes, because as we know, and maybe you don't know, but Freud said that depression is rage and turn inward, right? And so I have rage, right? Like I see someone taking advantage of another human being or whatever. Like I was at a base. This is funny because now I'm going to tell some private stuff. I was at a
One more round.
I was at a baseball. It goes downhill from here. We don't go any further than that one. I was at a baseball game for my grandson, and this guy says to a kid on my grandson, a kid on my grandson's team. The guy goes, "Throw it to that guy. He can't catch." And I was filled with rage. Fourth inning, I couldn't watch anything else. I'm like, I want that guy to say something else because I just want to just go at this guy. And then I realized that if you exist in a space of true divine happiness, then you realize that those are words that fell to the floor, and that if everyone else understands that those words don't have the energy that, I gave those words energy. And I told my daughter, I said, I'm at this game for the wrong reason. You can ask her when you go talk to Christine. I was like, I'm at this game I was staying. I'm like, I'm staying. I want that guy to say something else. I'm at this game for the wrong reason. And I was, and that exists in me. I am so flawed, and it's beautiful to be able to understand that I'm flawed. Like you look at all these people, like the Andrew Tate. Like let's name the top 3 people, and I don't have social media, but I have YouTube. There's Andrew Tate. There is like tell me some other people. I know that people like Andrew Tate.
I think Andrew Tate's
So let's talk about Andrew Tate, right? And listen, Andrew Tate is incredibly articulate. He's well read. He's intelligent, which at times transcend. I mean, at times it weaves into his wisdom. Goggins, the Navy SEAL.
David Goggins.
David Goggins. I mean, both of them. They're very, very different, right? I identify with and understand both of them on different levels. But I identify with the common man more than those guys. Like I'm like the street level of both of them, right?
Like the Dusty Rhodes.
I'm the Dusty Rhodes. I'm the Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, like I'm the Dusty Rhodes. Like I'm the Dusty Rhodes of both of them. And like if they both, I can tell you right now, if you got Goggins at this here and you got Tate sitting right there, they would identify and understand that I am that person. Like we see that, and nothing but love and respect to both of those human beings, I just, my thing is at this point, it's the next generations of the seed that I created to make sure that they do and become who they can be. But if there was a cloud, it's making sure that challenge that I exist in my experience makes it.
There you have it. So real quick, we're just going to do a rapid fire session with you. And because I see this is, and this ain't even the interview. This was supposed to be like a lead up so you know who he is. But you're an author, TV star. Can we say
I don't know what's a star. Remember, I
TV star, TV star. Let me say it. And just leadership, Las Vegas Metro. I'll post some of his cop stuff. Like just an all-around good dude. But question number one: what planet are you from?
Ooh, Earth. It's not flat. It's not flat. If you, it's not flat. It's not flat.
Well, so you're from Earth? You ever done mushrooms?
Never. I would. Psychedelics would never be. Okay, that's not true. I could potentially think about maybe, but I would want to get to a psychedelic space without putting something in my mouth. This is something that's interesting. I could run easily 15 miles. Forgive me, over salivating. I could run 15 miles, and my breathing would be exactly the same. I could run 15 miles and my breathing would be exactly the same. So, like, if you look at these legs, like, I run. So those endorphins are getting me wet. So, I don't really believe in like with beer. Like, I can have 2-3 beers and I can be like, okay, I'm chill. I want to be cool. I'll wait a couple hours. I can get to where I gotta go. But no, I don't. I'm really not at this point in my life. Definitely don't want to be into psychedelics. Like, I'm a parent. Like, God forbid, I'm on mushrooms and I'm looking at my hands. I'm like, these flames look great. My phone rings. My daughter's like, Dad, some guy's bothering me. I can't even pick up my phone. It's burning.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So no psychedelics. I could tell you, I've done some ceremonies.
Okay.
Game changer. Talk to God. It was like something I needed.
I know a lot of people have been trying to get me to do it, and I'm in the same realm. I don't really not today.
I don't believe them. And also, and you say you don't cuss. You go through phases where sometimes you're a little more. I have.
In one of my books.
Oh yeah. I think it was in where's the book? Do we got copy of the book? That's why I was like, yeah, it's a little different because you do curse.
Talked about the fact that I curse in this book. In this book only.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like that was different because that's probably why I liked it. I was like, okay, yeah, let's get because when we were downtown, he was like, "There's a rule, no cursing," and I was like,
Yeah, because word choice is important. Like,
I get it.
But Richard Pryor would not be as funny as he is if he didn't curse. Listen, I'm a hypocrite. Most men deny it. I myself admit it.
All right, well, definitely good stuff. So again, this isn't even the interview. Sin City Super Cop, Christopher Curtis, the brother from another mother. This is like, I don't know. He's just a magical being. I don't care what he says. He's not from Earth, and I believe that he's from a different planet, and we'll figure out what planet that is. But one last question: if you had one last message, say right now, this was it, and you had one thing to leave with planet Earth, what would it be?
If you have children, be as the octopus is, that you give everything until you demise to your children, because there is no other or higher calling that you can give if you create life, that you give them the best life you can give. That is the experience that I'm going through right now. So give your children the best that you can possibly give and create.
I love create. So
he's an amazing dad. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, if there's anything that I would have to say about David, like, he's actually insanely more creative than I am, and like better. Like, I BS about it.
Different.
Yeah, it's different creative, but he's like such a good dad, and his son is an amazing human, and like I really appreciate who he created. And I tell my kids, be a contributor, not a consumer, and you've created a contributor. So I appreciate you for that. So we started with your brother, your younger brother, and now we're going to your son.
Well, that's dope, because I just talked to my son the other day, and he was talking about when he got up and 6'8", 6'8", crazy. But he was just talking about when he got up and spoke, and obviously he was like, he speaks better than you, and always breaking balls. But we're gonna end this like we're gonna end all of these episodes, and we're talking about Sin City Super Cop, Christopher Curtis, retired sergeant. One question: what's the difference?
Oh, the difference is internal truth. You can lie to everybody else, but you cannot lie to the person you look at in the mirror. In fact, if I've ever experienced anxiety, I look in the mirror and I say, is this real? Is what you're feeling real? And you cannot lie to that person. It's internal truth.
That's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, and that's the difference. Yeah, that was good stuff, man. You're very intelligent. Yeah. You're well spoken, too. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah.
And that's the difference.